What's up, you filthy casuals? This is Casual Shenanigans Gaming, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. And tonight, about board games just for a little bit of time. We're going to let Joel talk about crap. He's trying to milk more money out of you. I'm one of your hosts, Germ Gaming, and I am joined by Joel Money Grubber, the wild card.
Hey guys.
We're joined by snake oil salesman Joel, back with his latest invention. Get out your wallets, boys and girls. Joel's back in town.
Hey guys, got a little project for you, just something I'm interested in. He's gonna blow. He's gonna blow. Oh, choke it down, Joel. You're used to that.
Choking it down.
We are also joined by Dave, the not so evil Viking 13.
I just almost died watching Joel die.
And we are also returning this week, making his triumphant return, is James, staring down at his webcam, which is the only time he gets to stare down at anything. This is Casual Shenanigans Gaming, and we've had so many technical problems. I'm pissed and I don't care. We're doing the podcast. It's going to be a super fast podcast because I've got to go watch the Avengers 2 tonight. I don't care about y'all's problems.
It's okay though, Jeremiah's used to super fast.
I can go faster than this if you want to. Anyway, so
We gotta stop drinking any liquids on this podcast.
quick follow-ups from last week.
Someone's gonna lose a keyboard.
Thank you, everyone who watched the GTA 5 video and liked it. That video did extremely well. It is currently at like 70,000 views, picked up another 30,000 views on the main viewer video, and I've picked up like 1,000 subscribers since last week. So
nuts.
thanks, everybody. It's been going great.
That's awesome.
Such a fresh batch of hate mail. If you guys haven't perused the comment sections recently, there's a new crop in. Go take a
mail from a new group of people. Fresh faces on those empty
some of the
avatars.
familiar ones showed back up. Someone is still arguing with me that the G3258 is a better processor than the i5 750. The only thing it's faster is single core stuff, and it's already stuttering. In a lot of like current releases are having problems with dual cores already. Like it's starting to happen. Dual cores are like 12 years old, guys. Like it's time to move up. Although some people are still running Grand Theft Auto 5 on like Athlon X2s, so more power to them, I guess. That gives me a little bit of hope that the Potato Masher is going to last a really long time if an Athlon X2 is still good. But we're going to begin.
Given that CPU, it's perhaps less power to them.
Only old people.
Podcast over.
Yeah, Dave. You just went and slowed the whole podcast down. We're gonna go pace. Go.
I'm trying to see how angry Jeremiah can get before he's just like flinging us through topics.
I can get angry. But we begin the podcast like we always do with the news, and I'm angry about something in the news.
News time.
Thank you, James. Did you have something you wanted to contribute real quick? Guess what? My monitor's not popping Skype up. I can't see you guys except in the delayed Twitch stream. I hate everything. I hate it so much. All right. Valve and Bethesda listened to gamers and got rid of paid mods for Skyrim after a whole 3 days of people giving it a chance. Oh, wait. No, they just screamed their stupid little heads off on the internet for days about how Gabe
as soon as it went live
was basically Hitler and he was bribing people at gunpoint, and this is the worst thing to ever happen to PC gaming. I saw an article today, or actually it was a Reddit thread. Someone posted a link to a Kotaku article where I don't normally love Kotaku, but the guy did an actual journalist job and talked to people on both sides of the problem and presented both sides fairly. And there was a modder in there who was talking about, hey, I've got some mods that have been downloaded like 200,000 times, and I have a donate button, and 2 people have donated to me. So that's like 0.001 or 0.01% of the people who have played this mod have donated. He said, so while a donate button would be nice, I don't believe any of you when you're saying a donate button would be great, then we could pay whatever we want. Because people aren't, which is what we said last week. People are upset, not because they think it's unfair to the modders, but because they don't want to pay money for something they've been getting for free. You think this is a crap storm? What if Steam announced it was going to do the same thing that every other online service does pretty much, and it was going to charge for online? I don't think they'll ever do that. But what if they did that? Can you imagine the crap storm that would rain down?
Valve headquarters might actually get burned down by angry neckbeards.
I wish
horde of them.
I wish they had
waddling slowly.
released Half-Life 3 as a paid mod for Half-Life 2. Wouldn't you just love to see the internet implode on itself?
I can't imagine the reaction, the confusion. Like, how do we feel about this, guys?
Everyone would be like, screw them, this is terrible. And it would be the #1 selling thing on Steam for like months. People were like, I'm just going to quietly play it over here.
The boycott Steam mods group is just full of people playing Half-Life 3 the mod.
I'm just
by
gonna say
Valve.
that I think that console gamers are a little bit nicer, and this is why.
Well, this would be a first.
Look at us. Minecraft, right? You guys get all free mods. We're totally happy with paying for the mods. That's the only way we have. We would be happy for Skyrim DLC mods. See,
Us console gamers,
yes,
we're not used to freedom. We're not used to freedom. We're used to living under oppression.
We'd be happy to pay for kind of freedom.
Yeah, we're already wearing like 3 pairs of shackles. What's one more? Like, I'm not even gonna notice it. That extra weight's nothing. I already can't move.
Beat me a little harder. All my nerves are shot. It doesn't matter. I don't even feel pain.
Honestly, can I say one thing? I made some notes on this. They're really short. I think just the biggest fault on theirs was not. I honestly I like the idea. I really do like the idea. I think that the biggest problem is the fact that they needed to wait for a new game to come out that's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, if they had done Half-Life 3, even whatever, I don't know, any other game. Let's say Fallout 4, right? If they announced the game,
let's mention that. We haven't talked about that in a while. Fallout 4 might be.
If they
coming
did
out
it with a game that's already out, there's already no free mods. There's nothing there's nothing free.
So
that's
people
being
were
taken
starting
away.
with paid mods from the beginning.
I think that would have really helped. I think
Quite
honestly,
possibly.
I think it would take off. But I think it's because it's like, oh, I already have a mod. Like crap, now I got to pay for it. And people are already just stingy. They just don't want to pay for anything. They want to get it free or they download it and stuff. But I think if you'd started off with it, people are going, oh man, I can make money by making mods. Where this is, I can make money for selling the mod I already have. So why wouldn't you want to offer your mod that you spent Dave spent like 5 gajillion hours on the Bin Laden mission. I'm like, it might be tempting to go, I might see if people want to buy it for like $2 or $1 or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I can see that temptation.
Actually,
so I think that was
Joel, I really agree with you here, and I think it's 2 stages too. There were already so many free mods available. The game is old, and the community for modding the Elder Scrolls is ancient. Since what is it, like 16 years now, 15 years? Steam has only been around for the Elder Scrolls for one game. The modding community, some of those modders have been doing it for the entire time. It's a very embedded community of people who just enjoy what they do. And so you've got an older game with a very entrenched community, and they open up this new paid mod system. And I think a big part of the problem was a lot of Valve's like banner mods were mods that were already free. Like there's a version 1.5 that's pretty awesome, and now they have a version 2.0 that's got some new features, but it's like 60% old stuff, and now you pay for it. Like, if they'd had all new mods even on an older game, that would have been a lot better. But it wasn't like tons of new exciting stuff. It was like, well, here's the thing that was free yesterday. Can you pay for it now? That's where I think a lot of the outrage came from. And it just snowballed out of control, I think.
Yeah. I haven't
But the question is though, if you had to pay for mods, would you?
I would.
It depends on the mod. I wouldn't pay for as many mods as I use now, but I would pay for some of them.
Right. I mean, if GTA said, hey, we're going to have mods for $5, but you got to pay $3 for, complete overhaul of this or that.
$3 in a heartbeat.
I pay DLC prices for like a good police mod, like added like quests
Dave,
and stuff.
Dave, you'd pay $30 for a good police mod.
Dave, you would pay the price of the full game.
Dave,
for
you just want
Focus on the topic, guys.
You just want Grand Theft Auto
Yes, you're right.
187. That's what you want as a game.
Would you pay?
I mean, if
Sorry, I was gonna say, would you pay $10 to open up? Was it Skylines or whatever it's called? What's that game you're playing? Like the top-down SimCity game?
City Skylines, yeah.
City Skylines. Would you pay $10 to open it up to have the 25 square things? Whatever.
$10.
Yeah.
If they could convince me that they actually had like a large programming effort that they had to do to make that mod,
it works just like it does now. Like
that was such a simple hack, though. That was really just a hack. Like
that's true, but I'm saying it's not offered anyone else. Would you pay for that though?
In that case, I think I would mod that myself because that was just a matter of like a registry entry change in some of the game files. Like it's not a big mod. Like there's no
Dave,
effort I'm paying for.
How much would you pay for a map editor for DC?
Well, if that's coming out later this summer, I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, we'll see if it's coming out later this summer. Sure.
But if it came out,
It's coming out eventually.
A map editor, you can make your own map and people can play on it?
It's coming out though.
You can make your own quests, missions, storylines, lore for $100, Dave.
So this is a hypothetical then. Like if you had to pay for it, is that what you're saying, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
What would I pay for that?
Some. I mean, definitely some.
I probably pay like 30 or $40 for it, probably.
Comes with
would pay more
with
than that.
cinematics
You would
like
pay
GTA
more.
5. Like comes with all that.
Camera tool? Ooh, now we're adding some value. 50. We'll say 50.
Ooh, getting the cinematic.
Dave, I think you would spend. I think you would easily spend
Will it render
$100.
your clips out with maximum settings at 60 FPS?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
60.
So we're definitely talking about hypotheticals, but sure. Now,
We're all for paid mods if they release some good ones.
okay, now there were some good points. Just to be fair, if anyone's listening to this going, no, but there's all these things wrong with it. Any of the things that people were saying that were wrong with paying for mods or could potentially be issues are issues with paying for any early access game, any game you don't know much about. It's true of tons of other games. And it would be true of paid mods. Like there's not a whole lot of curation. There's not, a lot of ways of removing bad
Stolen content.
But that's all the same problems that can happen anywhere else. And like we said last week, people didn't give Valve time to do a good job. They didn't let them do a good job. They threw a fit immediately. Kudos to Valve. It was obvious the community didn't want it, and they pulled it. And a lot of companies
and it was costing a lot of money.
Sony or Microsoft would have doubled down, or EA would have been like, oh yeah, everything's paid now.
3 months of that probably before they just quietly removed it.
Exactly. But Valve was like, hey, all right, you don't like it? Fine. We're sorry. It's gone. And then people are now begrudgingly like, well, it's screw you anyway.
On a side note, not to take us off track because obviously we're trying to do it in like auctioneer speed, right? I have a big pet peeve with games that have the DLC already on the disc or already in the files, where you just pay for an unlock.
Yeah.
Like it just basically writes a piece of code that unlocks it. That's a big pet peeve of mine.
It is, but most DLC that's announced before the game comes out is stuff they've started working on after the game goes gold. I think it's rare these days that it's on disc DLC, but it definitely is still happening a couple times a year.
It's like day one patch. Like they add it with that.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't happen a ton, but it still happens with AAA releases. Like it still is a thing, and it sucks. And I agree with you. Like it's stupid. That shouldn't happen. But
I wanted to sum it up just for me. Going back to what we talked about last week. Like we know more about the split now. I think the split actually reading that article from Dean Hall and a few other modders like. It makes more sense. Like you're paying for the IP and you're paying for the distribution and the free marketing of being on the workshop. I think 75% is still too high. I think maybe like 62, 63% would be a little more reasonable for that split. But I understand it better this week. But what really makes me sad about this whole thing is, like you said, there was no chance given. And at least according to Valve, and I believe them on this, their goal was for people who look at modding and say like, I'm good at this stuff. I just can't put all this time into it. They'd be able to say like, oh man, I can put a few hours in on weekends and do some mods, people who normally wouldn't be doing it, so that you still have your free mods, but there'd be this new whole section of paid mods from people who normally would not be modding this stuff, who in theory could do really high quality stuff just because there's like a little bit of money, there's a little bit of kickback. That had a lot of potential that we never even got to see.
I saw a really good tweet from Dan Stapleton from IGN. I love Dan Stapleton. I've been following him for years. And he said, I came back from like some trip or something, and all of a sudden the internet's apparently angry that Valve is treating video games like it's a business or something. Like, I mean, that's all it was. It's like, hey, people who make things, how would you like to have the chance to sell the things you've made? Like, wow, so terrible. But
I thought Lord Gaben didn't need money.
Yeah,
I had an example, like just even related to movies. It was like, to me, I don't think people realize like what they're actually doing when they give you an entire game engine. Say, hey, we did 80% of the freaking work. Like we built
and the documentation.
Yeah, we have the textures, everything. You know what I mean? Obviously, modders do crazy things and they make their own textures and voice work and stuff like that. But it'd be like going, hey, here you go. I'm gonna give you all of my Norman footage or all of like the Star Wars footage that we didn't even use for the movie. You can have whatever you want, make whatever movie you want, and then sell it. Like, holy crap, you're getting like an amazing quality stuff.
Yep.
And you don't even have to do, like, you just got to do a little bit of the work to even begin selling stuff. So
comparatively little amount of work. Like it's still tons of work.
Well, I mean, you don't
have
have to do a lot of work to sell it.
Right, that's true. Right, but to make this an actual analogy, would you say they can't sell the movie then?
What do you mean?
Because you're comparing this to a movie.
Well, no, I'm saying, sorry, I guess I would say they're right to say, hey, you get 30% or whatever it is. Like, I say that's more than fair. Like, we shot all this stuff. We're giving it to you. You can just edit and do your, because you don't have to spend a lot of time to start making money. You can, and then I'd say it's worth more.
I don't know. I worked on the movie.
But
it might be a long time before the actual movie makes money.
Yeah, I don't think it's unfair for them to go.
Royalty checks. Kickstarter.
I just don't think it's unfair for them to like they shouldn't be getting 50-50 for that. I'm like, they didn't like.
Sure.
It's like, here, just do a couple little things for 2 hours. You can start selling something. You might, I don't know, for a hat, like you can make a freaking hat and make like $1 million the next day. Who knows? So
funny you say hats.
Could have been me.
People have been selling hats for a long time. Hats, weapon skins, all kinds of stuff. Selling those is totally fine, but let people sell other stuff and for the exact same split that's been on everything else in Steam, and people lose their minds. But we will move on now to everyone knows about the Battlefield netcode and how upset people are by it. The short version for anyone who doesn't know is Battlefield, the server, any online server, refreshes a certain amount of times per second. That's how you get updates on who's being shot, who's being killed, where everybody is, etc., etc. And Battlefield has not refreshed as many times per second as other games like Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. As a result, when you get 64 people in a map, that's when you have lots of things like people killing each other. It's called kill trading, when your bullets kill each other because you both shot each other in the time in between server refreshes. It's how you can duck behind cover and die half a second later. Lots of stuff like that. And the consensus has been for a while, it's just a problem endemic to the engine and no one knows what to do with it. Well, interesting thing. Venice Unleashed is a private server host. They're working on a beta of like a spinning off Battlefield 4 and like creating private
it's 3.
servers.
Isn't it 3?
3 is this story is about, but they're doing the Battlefield 3 and 4 servers. They're working on private betas for server hosting. And I might get a couple of those details wrong, so don't quote me on that. You can go look them up, though, Venice Unleashed. But the part that's significant is they decided to get some statistical data on how the game performed, and it turns out there is an average of about 87 milliseconds of lag in everything that happens on the online server. And then that's for just damage updates, and then you turn on network smoothing, and it jumps up to like 200 milliseconds. So if you're running network smoothing, you are very behind what's going on. So they turned up high-frequency updates, which is basically you just have it update the server much more often. And let me see. I'm trying to see, do they say how much high-frequency mode is? Okay, so currently on Battlefield 3, the incoming frequency for clients was approximately 15 hertz, like they get 15 updates per second, and the outgoing frequency was about 30 hertz, so 30 times per second. So they turned it up, and they were able to drop the frequency, like the lag, to 35 milliseconds average. So that's dropping from, on the low side, 87 to 35. That's like cutting it down by a huge amount. And they already have a test server up and running, so you can jump in and test for yourself. You looking for test server 001 run by Venice Unleashed. So go look them up. And I'm not going to tell you too much more about it because it's a very technical explanation. But if you watch the video they have on their page, it's obvious the game is running and working a lot better. So you should definitely go check that out if you've been bothered.
How is EA not shut that down yet is what I want to know.
I'm not sure. It is a little bit odd, but kudos to them for like still working on a game that's been out for a few years and trying to make it better for the players. That's pretty cool.
Please, someone fix the Frostbite engine networking. Anyone, please.
All right.
Joel. He saw it.
All right. City Skylines raced past 1 million sales with the first major patch on the way, which will add tunnels as a free major update. Dave.
There's tunnels and like a few other things too. What
else is going on? What else is going on with this update?
Honestly, this item is a few weeks old now, so it's probably well over 1 million sales, but that was obviously well above what their like 11-person team was expecting. And there are now over 35,000 mods on the City Skylines workshop.
Holy cow.
35,000 in a month and a half.
That's not bad.
So they're planning on both long-term support for the game, like free new features like tunnels, some stuff that didn't quite make the final cut of the game, and then some actual DLC down the line if they can actually find something that the modders haven't already created and are giving away for free. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, really awesome to see the game doing well. I'm still trying to fit it in.
It's like Arma adding helicopters. Yay.
Yeah, at that point, it really is like, hey, I like what they're doing. This is a fun game. I feel guilty because I have 900 hours and paid $33 for it. Here, have a little bit DLC money. Just,
how many hours do you have in the game now, Dave?
Which game? I don't.
Skylines.
79 hours.
Phew.
How much do you have in GTA now?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I kind of want to know this.
I have 40. I have 45. If that helps.
Oh wait,
58 hours.
I was gonna say 61.
Do you want to guess Arma though? After finishing the mission over the weekend?
Oh gosh.
Like now total, like Arma 3.
Yeah.
750.
I want to hear what Joel's.
820.
821.
375.
You higher than
More?
that?
943.
Oh my god! Holy crap!
Do you see why I bought the Arma 3 DLC? Like, I may never use all the vehicles and weapons from the DLC. I just feel guilty. I'm paying my penance.
There is a new Asus ZenBook. The ZenBooks are their high-end laptops, if you don't know about them, and they're pretty nice. For people who say that there aren't many good high-end PCs, ZenBooks are pretty sweet. I have a lower-end ZenBook, and I think it's pretty awesome, but there is a new one. The ZenBook Pro UX 501, a slightly less terrible name than most PC laptops, but it's still not great. It's designed to compete with the MacBook Pro. It's a 15-inch laptop running Windows 8.1. And here are the notable things. If you look on the Mac website, they just say that the MacBook Pro has a Retina screen. That's all they'll tell you about it. We don't really know what resolution it is, but it sure as heck isn't 4K. But the Asus ZenBook is. It has a 4K IPS display with a 100% sRGB coverage. Oh, and it's a touchscreen, of course. It's a 15.6-inch Ultrabook. It measures 0.81 inches thick. If you're curious, yes, that's almost exactly what the MacBook Pro is. It's almost like they designed this to compete with something directly. It has a Core i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, a 512 gigabyte solid-state drive with read and write speeds of 1,400 megabytes a second. In case you're curious, that's 3 times faster than the one in the MacBook Pro. It has NVIDIA GeForce GTX 960 graphics with 2 gigs of graphics memory, wireless AC, Bluetooth, webcam, 3 USB 3 ports, a Thunderbolt port, HDMI output, 2-in-1 memory card reader, a backlit keyboard, and it starts at $1,800, which is about $600 cheaper than a comparable MacBook Pro.
Dang.
So if you want,
Did you say it had a Thunderbolt adapter?
a Thunderbolt port.
Port.
A lot of high-end laptops do now. It's becoming more popular. And next, Joel, you mentioned this first. Do you want to talk about the PC gaming show at E3?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you guys were the ones that kind of told me about it, but I think it's cool. I think as soon as I heard it, I don't think the PC has really had any kind of booth or like a show.
No official
E3
presence because there's no one.
since
There's no
since
spokesman.
like 2003, really.
Yeah, there's no
I mean, like,
spokesman for PC
yeah.
gaming officially.
Microsoft stopped
I know.
carrying a decade ago.
But even like they even just stopped doing their own little like shows during like the week of E3 where it was like, hey, like whatever. I mean, because like Half-Life 3 and then Doom 3, like they were big games and stuff like that. And I even remember Quake, whatever not the most recent one, but back around 2004, 2005. But then, yeah, it just disappeared, and I thought it was really sad because it was awesome seeing things like Half-Life 2 and stuff like that are like, hey, this is the highest tier type of PC gaming stuff. I told Dave, I think to do this really right is instead of just showing games that are already on consoles and stuff like that, show off, I forget the space game, Jeremiah.
Star Citizen?
Star Citizen. I always forget the name.
The space game.
Sorry, like
I knew what he was talking about.
It's the space game.
It is the space game.
Yeah.
If you capitalize the V, I'll allow it.
But yeah, like if they show that off and like just gorgeous looking graphics, a really awesome level, it's something just amazing. That'd be like crap. I want to get a video card stuff. You know what I mean? Like that would really make me want to upgrade the rig or whatever. I think get people excited about PC gaming in that sense because I don't think there has been a game or a show or something like that that's like, guys, you have to freaking upgrade your rig. This game is going to be insane. I don't think we've had that for a long time.
Since AMD, no, actually, I was thinking this week. This is so great now that we're fully into the new console generation. There are finally games that make you need to upgrade your rig. the last couple years of being a PC gamer, like the last couple years of the PS3, I didn't need to really upgrade for anything. I upgraded if I wanted to play everything on the absolute max settings, but I could play everything totally fine. But now we're getting to the point like people are needing to really upgrade their rigs now because their rigs that are 6 years old just aren't cutting it, and they have to upgrade to if they want to play like on really good settings. So since AMD is kind of hosting it, all they need to do is show off Star Citizen and then tell everyone it's running on the AMD R9 390X, which is available today, and they will promptly sell out. I almost wonder if they're going to do something like that because it would be super simple marketing. Everyone's very excited for the AMD cards to release, but a lot of people can't wait that long. People like me and Joel. Segue. Joel, we'll go back to the show in a minute, but Joel just bought a GTX 970 to replace his 770, and I just bought a 970 to replace my 290 because I'm sweating and I feel like I'm going to die every time I game. I'm planning on either getting a second 970 or selling it and getting an R9 whatever when they come out, but for now, this is too much heat and I am sad. But
it's still April technically, don't forget.
That's true. Back to the PC gaming show. They're going to have Cliff Bleszinski, Dean Hall, Blizzard Entertainment, Bohemia, Cloud Imperium Games, that's Star Citizen, Devolver Digital, Heart Machine, I don't know who they are, Humble Bundle, Obsidian, Paradox Interactive, Square Enix.
City Skylines with Paradox there.
Yeah, and Tripwire. So those are a lot of very PC-heavy developers, so we can see some really, really awesome stuff. Like that's pretty cool stuff, and I'm
definitely watching it. Joel, I was going to say, going back to your comment about like we haven't had like kind of our own little space to get excited about at E3. It makes me almost sad that I can't believe I'm going to say this. It almost makes me sad that The Witcher 3 is coming out on May 19th because can you imagine if it was like launch week for The Witcher 3 and like that was a big part of the show? Like guys, AMD 300 series, Witcher 3 on exclusive PC ultra settings, 60 FPS, like exclusive optimizations, like because
I think that would be really cool. You know, I mean, like
that'd be a cornerstone game for the presentation for sure.
That'd be awesome. I just saw like Devolver Digital, the guys that did Titan Souls. I've been really enjoying that game. I mean, like it's a lot of Indian games and stuff like that. But like, I think that'd be really cool. You know, if they can come out with. Like, I've been asking you like exclusive PC games, but like show something that's just like this is a powerhouse PC game. It's not just
if only there was a list or something.
It's not just hey, here's high end textures like that. But what is something just straight up? This is badass. You got to get a PC game for PC for this. And I think it's like there are no just straight PC companies that are like, you know what? Let's pay. I want this to be exclusive only PC.
Nope, there are tons of them. Like half the people on that list. We're not doing this tonight, Joel. Yeah, what are some like PC only, just only on the PC badass companies? You know, like Bohemia and Blizzard. Okay, no. Blizzard Interactive. You know, the people who made those little PC exclusives like StarCraft and World of Warcraft. You know, those guys.
I'm talking about just insanely high, like stuff like Half-Life 2, big games, like huge, like
not the small selling ones like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's like big games. Not World of Warcraft, okay? Not Arma 3, not DayZ. Big games.
Out of the genre of RTS and
first-person shooter. So not an RPG, a first-person shooter, or an MMO. You know, one of those AAA puzzle releases.
No, I said first-person shooter. I'm just saying like something that's not on consoles as well, like just their whatever it is,
like Arma or Counter-Strike.
Well, actually,
because I think it'd be just dumb if it's like, hey guys, we're gonna show you off, whatever the next Assassin's Creed. Here's some high-resolution textures, stuff like that, but like. Is it something that's just insane that holy crap, you got to see?
That's okay too, Joel, because I want to use that as an example of The Witcher 3. The developers have said that no one's is going to see the ultra settings in the game until it launches because they want that to be an exciting thing for PC gamers to get on launch day. They're not showing anything from the ultra settings in the game until it's out. Like,
oh, that's really cool.
So I mean, that's what I was saying.
Show that. No, that makes sense. I'm just saying not all. Like, it would be awesome if they had a few just surprises like. You don't usually hear about a lot of PC game surprises that are hidden. You know what I mean? You hear from like years and years ahead of time. You know, like you go to E3 and you go, oh crap, I didn't expect that game to come out. You know, like I mean, the first time seeing Watch Dogs, no one had heard of it. You know what I mean? So it'd be awesome to have a PC game no one's heard of. It's like, guys, check this out. It's gonna blow your mind. We've been paying for just a PC exclusive, highest technology, just something mind-blowing. That would be awesome.
That's
highest technology.
Star Citizen is beautiful. It's not mind-blowingly beautiful though. Like it's an awesome looking game, but it's not mind-blowing.
No. The destruction,
Joel.
The layered.
I feel like you haven't seen enough of Star Citizen. It's one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
I've watched hours of footage.
Hours.
Like, it's not like Yeah.
Hours. Really?
There
I
aren't
have.
hours of footage. Who are you watching?
Yeah, there is. But anyways, like the people's faces and stuff, like, it's not amazing. Like, I mean, they have amazing looking ships. I'm not gonna lie, they have awesome ships. But I'm saying, it's not the most incredible looking game I've ever seen.
Okay.
What is the most incredible looking game you've ever seen?
I think right now, art wise, if it was running on PC, I think what's that? Not Infamous, the other Killzone. The latest Killzone, just the environments were just nuts looking.
Looks good.
Like if you could imagine that at 4K, super high, I think that would be the game of all
So
games.
glad
when it comes
you
to just
didn't say
graphics looking.
Bloodborne. I'm so glad.
I wasn't
you
gonna
didn't.
say Bloodborne.
I thought you were going to say Bloodborne.
I thought you were gonna say
I was waiting
Bloodborne,
for it.
too.
I'm like, come on,
I
come
know
on, come on.
what good graphics look like. Bloodborne looks awesome.
Oh, it looks
but it's
great
not-
for
it's not
15
mind-blowing.
FPS. Yeah, for 15
It's not
FPS, that's a
mind-blowing.
good looking game.
Yeah, Joel, I've noticed something. I really think that your perspective on like the technical parts of games is affected by the aesthetics. Like, if animations aren't smooth, you don't notice like how nice the textures are. I think you almost like get blinders on.
No, it's not blinders. It's you guys go, oh look, the ships can break up. I'm like, yay, that's awesome.
But yeah,
if the game's not
but-
fun, and it's that the whole package is not good. Who cares? Like,
We're not talking about it's fun. We're talking
But
about
Joel,
how
when you
it
say if the
looks.
whole game, if the whole package isn't good, who cares? You selectively ignore the things that don't bother you from that whole package. The whole package for you is the stuff that you care about. The whole package for us is the stuff we care about.
When Half-Life 2 came out, it wasn't just this is a cool looking game. It was like, holy crap, they have physics, they have water simulation, they have all sorts of. It was like everything all in
crowbars.
one.
They have water
That was the
simulation
most-
and physics.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm saying, Star Citizen. I mean, the destruction models on the ships are incredible. Same, but we've seen the car game
And the
that
ship
does that.
models, yeah, another
They're incredible
PC
looking.
exclusive car game.
But I mean, like,
And
if you
the
look at Forza
space-
2, their car models are pretty amazing looking. It's not like it's that much
Forza
different compared to
2?
the space. Or sorry, whatever the latest
Forza Horizon 2. I was like, no,
My bad,
Forza
my
2
bad,
doesn't
my
look
bad.
that good, man.
No, that one looks like crap. Do you know what I'm saying?
You mean
I'm saying
that
their car,
Xbox game?
they're ships, though. You know what I mean? Like
They're
it
really
looks
good looking
awesome.
ships.
Yeah, but it's not mind blowing. Like it's not like we've not seen.
I
ships
think it
before.
is. Well, I've seen everything
That's some
in a game
good-looking
before.
ships.
When it came to you fly up, you're like, I've never experienced this amazingness before. Half-Life 2, I
But
wasn't
I
like, oh
think-
my gosh, a crab on someone's head. Oh, my mind! It's being eaten
At
by
the
a
time,
crab.
though, it was so like leagues ahead of its time.
Streets ahead, you might say.
Streets. Okay, what's the new Unreal Engine? Right? Was it 4?
Yeah.
4.
It's coming out. Like that, I saw a couple scenes of it, like in the forest and on a rainy day. I'm like, that right there is the best graphics I've ever seen. Like right there, if they can make a game and pull that off with that, that is absolutely realistic looking. You know what I mean? Like that.
Well,
would
but I mean,
blow
you could look at a movie then for that
Yeah,
case.
no,
You
but I'm
can say
saying
that's
that
the
you imagine-
best graphics I've ever
specially
seen.
set up demos, yeah, they look
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Guess what else looked good? The Killzone 2 E3 demo. Then they realized they had to run it on a PS3, and it came out looking like mud was smeared all over it. Guess what looks really great in the pre-res stuff? Bloodborne, until you realize that I don't know what they are rendering that on because the whole game runs at about a quarter of that frame rate. Like that's... A pre-res stuff doesn't matter. Wait till the game actually comes out. That's why Star Citizen, I think, is going to be one of the best looking games that's ever been put out. But of course, we don't know, and we'll wait and see. But anyway,
Joel, do you think No Man's Sky looks better than Star Citizen?
different style. I
No,
think it's
no, I
apples
mean,
and
it
apples.
has-
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
No. I can tell the difference with that. I mean, it's got
I mean, I
awesome
don't know.
aesthetics. Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. But I can also tell. I mean, that game doesn't have something mind-blowing like the ship destruction, all that kind of stuff, and the amazing lighting with the planets and sun and all the stars and like that for Star Citizen looks incredible. I'm saying, like, I don't know, I'm like, a game like, to me, I think would just blow my mind if we they show off, I don't know, Doom 4, and it's just like you're let's say you're walking through a swamp or some kind of bloody thing, and the water is incredibly real looking, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, holy crap, the graphics really go, that looks freaking real, like that's nuts. I think a game like that would be just insane, where Star Citizen looks incredible and the aesthetics are awesome, but I think like for pushing, like even like Dave sent me this NVIDIA like graphics.
Pretty sure you
thing,
just said
like,
the sex was
water.
awesome. That's what I heard.
I
I don't know what you just said.
pretty much was.
the what was
This-
awesome?
We're not talking about Fallout 4 or Bloodborne, so
The physics demo.
Oh,
it was like
okay, there it
water
is.
being simulated and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fire and had smoke and stuff like that. That, if that was in a game, would be incredible. Like that real. Like even Alien Isolation. Some of the smoke effects were pretty darn awesome. Then once you kind of walked in them, it would do kind of like you can kind of tell they kind of gamed it a little bit. But if it like actually moved around characters when people move through and so like that would be whoa, that'd be awesome. So I'll shut up.
James, do you have any old man words of wisdom to add to this? You look
No, Joel, shut up. I'm happy. Just kidding.
I feel the love.
It is now time for the mail.
Mail time!
You can write into the show, casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Just like Terminal Nerdosity Gaming did. I believe that's his username, Terminal Nerdosity Gaming.
You don't think it's his legal name?
Probably not. Well, his email address has Blue Dragon Lord in it, so I don't know, man.
Equally awesome.
That's not bad. But he wrote into casualshenanigans@gmail.com just like you can. And he said, so I watched your Potato Masher videos. The GTA 5 video was amazing. And given that I'm working on an upgrade on my wife's and my own PC and a bit of a budget build, I was hoping for your professional opinion. There's no storage or optical drives. We have those in our current machines when we're porting them over. So they've got all that straight. And here is what they are planning on buying. AMD FX 6300 6-core processor, Gigabyte 970 motherboard, 8 gigs of G-Skill RAM, an R9 270X graphics card, Rosewell case, EVGA 500 watt power supply. Total is $463. They're looking at that for the two of them. I think they're each going to build that. He won't need a power supply. He already has a 600 watt. And he wants this to run WWE 2K15. He says, you guys should do a video of that once it comes out on Tuesday. I'm sorry, I did not know WWE 2K15 was coming out. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't plan on buying that game. I don't really play wrestling games. I wouldn't mind testing it if there was some way to get a review copy so I didn't have to buy it, but I probably will not be testing it because I don't want to fork out my own money. But thanks in advance for looking at this, sir. He says, my primary goal is World of Warcraft, and max settings are at least high, and then upcoming games at 30 FPS at high settings, such as Dragon Age Inquisition, WWE, GTA 5, and The Witcher 3. Will this rig do it? For $463. The main parts again, FX 6300, R9 270X, 8 gigs of RAM.
I feel like you could go a little higher, some of the specs for the price.
Is that a 290X you said?
270X.
270X.
I heard 290X. Yeah, I think so. Just a little bit.
If it was me, I would keep your old case, cut the case out, saves you $40. That'll get you an R9 280X, which is...
I've seen those on sale a lot lately.
Those are on sale for like $200 all the time, sometimes even lower than that. I would get a 280X for sure. Another alternative is a GTX 960, but the 280X is faster.
How would you compare the 280 to the 960?
It's better.
Like significantly better?
5 to 10% in most things.
Yep.
The GTX 960 is actually not really any more powerful than the GTX 760. It's just a lot more power efficient.
A lot.
Right.
It's a lot more power efficient. That part's good, but it actually is not really that amazing of a card when you look as far as new generation stuff coming out, because it came out...
It's a replacement card, is all it is.
It came out... Well, usually the replacement cards are a little bit faster, but it's not really. It's like the same card, but more power efficient. It's still a good card for the money, but the R9 280X is a better card. So I would probably recommend that. Everything else in the build is solid. I mean, I wouldn't change anything else. You could get the FX 6350. You didn't mention aftermarket cooler, so I don't know if you plan on overclocking, but the FX 6350 runs at 3.9 gigahertz instead of 3.5, and it only costs an extra like $4 or something. So if you're not going to be overclocking, get that. It's going to run a little bit faster. But just know that you can overclock that processor very easily to 4.5 gigahertz. And if you have aftermarket cooling, you should definitely do that because those procs are super easy to overclock. Next bit of mail is from Honeydip. Hey, Dave, I had a real question. Real talk time. I'm getting an AMD FX 8350, and I already bought an MSI 970 gaming motherboard. I've been reading reviews, and a lot of people are saying they don't play well together, but PC Part Picker said they're compatible. I don't plan on overclocking it first, or at least until I play some more intensive games. I plan on mostly playing only City Skylines and Total War series. What do you think, if you know those parts at all, and any advice? I bought the motherboard on sale, so I could sell it and at least get my money back if I absolutely need to. Thank you guys, love the podcast, and plan on upping my Patreon donation soon. Well, thank you, Honeydip, for that. Dave.
First of all, I am really annoyed with MSI for naming a motherboard just the 970. That's just really obnoxious.
They named it years ago. It was named
It's still confusing.
Okay, if it is an older motherboard, that's acceptable, I guess. Let me actually bring up the email. I'm gonna let you take it first because I'm not looking at the email itself, and I want to actually get a good look at it.
Well, last bit on the last guy's email. R9 280X and the FX 6300 will run everything you mentioned. That won't be a problem. But anyway, back to Honey Dip. You're in luck. I had an MSI 970 motherboard when I had my FX 8350. So I actually owned the exact same combination. And that board works fine with the processor as long as you don't overclock. I could overclock my processor. I got it to 4.8 gigahertz. That's an 8-core processor at 4.8 gigahertz. But it was not stable. It was stable enough to run a couple synthetic benchmarks, and that was it. It would crash nonstop. The fastest stable overclock I could get to was 4.2 gigahertz, which is a 200 megahertz overclock, which isn't worth anything. So I would say for that reason, if you plan on overclocking, you want a 990 FX chipset. You want the 990 chipset, not the 970. The 970 is a decent budget one, though.
But for his need, overclocking seems kind of silly. I mean, you want to play Skyline and Total War.
Yeah, and that they're you don't really need to overclock for those.
Yeah.
You only need to overclock for anything that's super like single threaded, something like Arma or DayZ. And for those, the FX 8350 is not going to be a great choice anyway. But if you got it to 4.5 gigahertz, it'd be perfectly decent. Like, it's a solid processor for $200 or less. But it can't compete with like a 4790K or a 5820X or anything like that. So, or 5820K. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Dave?
No, I'm in agreement. I actually finally found the email. It took about 2 minutes for me to dig through. I found it.
Jeremiah's life experience answered. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Well, that's the thing is I've had so many different combinations of gear because I keep swapping stuff out. I feel like I can answer way too many of these from personal sad experience.
Honestly,
settle down, Jeremiah.
I've been Intel since 2006, so I'm out of the loop for AMD.
Since 2010, I've had a Q6600 processor, a 1090T, a FX 8350, a 3570K, and now my 4790K.
Since 2010?
Since 2010. For graphics cards since 2010, I have had a 4890, I've had a 6870, a 7950, two 7950s, a 770, and now an R9 290. Then a GTX 970, then back to the R9 290, and I'm going back to a GTX 970.
Jeremiah, I think that's called a problem.
It doesn't feel
You might have one.
When you space it out, it doesn't feel that bad.
How do you space it out? Weekly?
I never would have sold the 7950s except the Litecoin craze hit and they were worth $300 a piece all of a sudden. I was like, I'm ditching these bad boys. I loved them. Like, they're still, those two together are faster than my R9 290 now. They're the fastest.
The one that got away.
All that money that came back.
I was going to say, I'll swap graphics cards because, I mean, they drop in value so quickly. Like, you want to try to get some of your money back, and I just like staying on top of the game. But for CPU, though, like, platform changes, 4 or 5 years for me.
Okay, here's the thing. The 1090T came out at the same time.
Every time Jeremiah said, here's the thing. There's going to be some gymnastics going on here.
This is how I rationalize it. The 1090T came out. It's a 6-core AMD processor, the world's first 6-core, and I wanted it. It came out at the same time as the 2500K, which we know now is an absolute beast of a processor. But me at the time, I was like, nah, 6 cores, baby. And I got it.
I like numbers. Numbers look really good.
And then I spent years basically trying to chase that 2500K high that all my friends were getting. Like, my friends were getting 2500Ks, and I was helping them overclock to like 5 gigahertz and stuff. And I was like, this feels so good.
Okay, I had this. I deserve this.
And so what'd you buy after that?
So after the 1090T, I got an FX 8350.
Okay.
Because AMD loves its customers, and it was the same chipset, and I didn't have to upgrade motherboards. And that was a good processor, but it wasn't as fast as 2500K. So then I got a 3570K, which is better, and here we are. Anyway.
Just making sure.
So yeah. But that's all the bail. And now we're going to talk about what are we playing this week before we get into Joel's special section.
That sounds a little.
Normally I go last. I'll go first this week, so you guys can talk. I've been playing a little bit more of Bloodborne. I have been playing, which is fine and everything. Been playing GTA 5, which on the PC is fantastic. It's the best open world game I've ever played.
It's a new game.
It's gorgeous, and the online stuff, like, I've barely scratched the surface of everything that's available online. With all the content they've added, all the new cars, new buildings, there's so many missions now. I don't think I've repeated maybe 2 or 3 missions, and I've done probably 60 or 70 at this point. And the heists are a ton of fun. Like it's amazing. I don't mind that I bought it a third time. I sold the other copies, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving GTA 5. I gave up on trying to beat the 2 Witcher games before The Witcher 3 comes out because GTA 5 came out. I'm still playing a little bit of The Witcher 2. And that game at 4K on medium settings looks incredible. Like it looks as good as anything that's come out in the past year. Like no questions asked.
Are you gonna be able to run it fine with your 770? Sorry, 970.
The Witcher 3?
Yeah, Witcher 2, Witcher 3.
Witcher 2 actually does not run incredibly well on at 4K. It doesn't scale that well. I'm hoping I can run The Witcher 3 well. I might get a second 970 and just guarantee that I can run it well. Who knows?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
I'm just gonna rub salt
because you know what I'll do.
I know
what I'll do.
You will do your mental hamster gymnastics
through
for
my
3
tears.
weeks.
It's called an arms race.
And then
That's what it's called.
GTX 980, and then you'll finally be happy for 6 months.
I call this a cold war of video cards, but it's video cards. So it's definitely a hot war.
I know something that would absolutely piss you guys off.
The GTX 980 Ti is coming out soon?
No.
Oh.
No, I was gonna say you guys are just like up and up and up. I gotta get more video cards. I'm gonna get more graphics. I could probably be just totally fine for the next 2 years still with the Xbox 360. Like, come on, games, I don't care.
Yeah, but see, for Joel,
I'm
for
having
me,
fun.
the game isn't
Except
good.
you just bought a new card.
The game
now,
isn't good,
but-
Joel,
Like-
unless it's the whole package. It has to be the whole package. It can't just be good
I know.
gameplay. It has to have everything.
Well, I'm gonna have everything soon.
I saw a picture. That sounds ominous. I'm going to have everything soon. The plan's going into motion.
Dave's helping me spec out a TV we're gonna have in the office. so I'm
Specking
gonna
out
connect it.
different parts you're getting for your TV.
Well, no, all right,
Which
so-
Kickstarter's paying for it?
James, you'll appreciate this too. I had
Get
the
him a
same
4K
argument with Joel.
TV. Future proof it. Get a 4K TV. Have you seen the new Vizio 4K
Well,
TVs?
hold on, because
Alright.
I had that same old argument with Joel on Skype where I was like, "Hey, have you bought your PC copy of Witcher 3 yet?" It's like, I might just get it on the PS4. I'm like, Joel, you have a great computer and you're upgrading your cards, and just get it there. And Joel's like, well, I like my surround sound and my couch. I'm like, don't you have good speakers and a couch in your office? It's like, well, yeah, but I don't have my TV. So I'm gonna help him pick out a nice TV for his office. Maybe not 4K, but he's got a nice setup there.
No,
like,
dude,
why not use it?
a 50-inch Vizio 4K TV is like $600.
Really?
That's too.
That would like
I'm
swallow
planning on
his
getting-
office.
I'm planning on getting a 1080p one because I'm going to use it for color correcting Norman and just watching it and seeing it bigger.
that's
for the
that's a good.
Then get a
For the
dude, get a
final.
projector. Get a projector. Get a projector.
What
Get a projector.
Do for him,
Get a projector.
Because
No,
this
it's
TV,
not gonna be
$500
as accurate. No.
this is gonna be an office TV that he flips pretty fast. I'm gonna probably assume, Joel, like you're gonna want a 4K TV maybe for your office in like 2 or 3 years. Walmart has been doing deals on refurbished TVs for ridiculously cheap, like 46 inches for $200, like a name brand like LG refurbished.
That's okay. That's pretty good. I'd do that. Don't do
Like-
46 inches though. 50 inches or bust.
In his office?
If he's gonna be sitting on his couch,
doesn't
yeah,
need
he's
to
gonna
be
be like
that
8
big.
feet away from it.
Yeah, we're gonna
50
do like-
But he's
inches-
not gonna be sitting on his couch color correcting.
Sitting right here playing. Like I
Then
don't
why
want
don't you just sit right in front of your monitor? You're gonna scoot back like 1 foot and stand.
and then go down to 1080p. He's gonna go from 1440p to 1080p on the wall.
Joe, I don't understand how you spend money sometimes. I really don't.
Remember, no,
Scoot.
shush, your
This is
freaking
no.
mouth.
This is called a tax write-off. That's how he spends
I thought you
money.
wanted the couch, Joel. Wasn't the couch the whole point?
The whole point of this TV is not for freaking Witcher 3. It's for having a bigger screen so I can have Norman up there, big, and so I can
Just Norman's face.
So for color
up there.
Because
correcting-
people will be sitting back here, we'll be doing a lot of chatting and watching through the stuff. So I wanted to have it instead of a screen here. We have to all sit up close.
So for color correcting, you're going to stop using your Dell IPS professional
Not just
graphics
color
monitor, and you're going to use a refurbished LG TV.
Not like I'm gonna color correct it, but I want to be able to put it there and just sit back and watch it. Because seeing the movie in a much bigger detail, you catch a lot more.
Okay, that makes sense. I understand that.
And that's a good price point for that kind of
but
thing.
it's like a
projector.
yeah, it'd be kind of cool to play a game on that. I could sit on the couch and play. That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
But
So
I
instead
told
of
Dave-
rendering out and watching it on your TV downstairs, you're gonna pay for a
Well,
new TV.
well, I've been wanting to get one like that because I think it'd be awesome to have it just nice and big, watching it, and yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The day they start selling that 40-inch Philips 4K monitor in America, I'm tempted. I'm real tempted.
He's already thinking about it. He's already thought this through.
I've already thought it through. The day it came out, dude, I was seeing how much I could sell my 4K monitor for that I'd had for like 1 month.
Oh, you selling your 4K monitor?
I'll let you know. You're my first call. But
Bring
anyway,
that second 980 to power that.
I told Dave.
What time do you have to leave, Jeremiah?
we got to do Joel's thing, so we got to hurry up.
Sorry. I told Dave I would be absolutely livid getting this 970 and Witcher 3 still stutters and it's just a freaking mess. I don't care if it's ultra graphics, but if it's like 30 to 70 FPS, then 29, then like just all over the place.
See, Joel, but
I will
you
be
have
So
You have to
then
be-
don't buy it on the PS4.
You have to be you have to be a responsible consumer though, Joel. If there's a stutter, load up a hardware monitor like MSI Afterburner, see if you have a bottleneck, see if it's something you're doing wrong, because plenty of the time when people
I know
have a
that,
problem.
yeah.
Okay, well you said you had stuttering for months and you didn't figure out that it was your VRAM.
Well,
You just were saying PC games just stutter all the time now, and you weren't investigating the
What
problem.
was that, Joel? This was you. I don't know what I'm
He's
going to
doing,
say
he's doing
because
his
he
upset fish face
totally called me out.
because reality hit him in the face with its cold, wet hand.
Like a seal slap almost.
Joel, no, I completely understand what you're saying. I would be pissed if it ran that poorly too. But just keep in mind, if it runs a little bit poorly, have Dave look at your settings. Like there always is a little bit of tweaking you can do.
I mean, and I always go through those options. I mean, you guys didn't figure out the VRAM thing as well.
We didn't.
So for a long
we
period
don't
of
know your rig as well as you do.
Well,
when you mentioned as soon as you mentioned,
you guys picked it out for me. You guys still
Joel,
And you
Joel-
had a 1080p monitor when you bought that computer.
Joel, I've done like 30 builds in the past 5 years. I don't remember what's in your computer. And when you
I'm not
said,
saying it's
as soon
your
as you
fault.
said
I'm
2
just
gigabytes of
saying.
Yeah, he has a
VRAM,
memorized list of all his CPUs.
You can't even remember what's in Dave's computer. He tells us every week.
he has a 3930K, a GTX 980. He has 16 gigabytes of RAM. He has
Not talking
1
about you, I'm
terabyte.
talking about Joel.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Joel's
Dave
the
and I are
one
just
like
tight.
you.
We know.
You have a
Appreciate
hexacore?
you.
Respect.
You're loyal.
Hexacore? Is it hexacore?
Yes.
Okay.
How many is that? How many is that?
Isn't that 12?
What does hexa mean, Joel? What does hexa mean?
That's a dozen core.
Sorry. Right?
What does hexa mean?
We just did this
Hex.
like a
Hex.
few weeks ago.
How many sides on a hex wrench?
Well, don't ask him a mechanical question.
Is it 6?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so okay, you have to. Well,
Octo is 8.
and okay, but sorry, Dave. You said there was like 12 or something in it, right? So it's 6. So they each have like a CPU.
It's hyper-threaded.
Or yeah, whatever. So it was
So
12 eventually.
Each
six-
core
so
can do two jobs.
processes per core.
6 physical processors, 12 logical ones.
Okay, 12 logical.
You're making a note. 12
I only
logical.
asked this because this is what did we do this like 3 weeks ago? We had the same discussion with what a hexacore was.
It's all right. He's always brought up, I wish there was some list of good exclusive PC games, and I almost shot him through the monitor. So. But that's okay, because we're about to turn everything over to Joel so he can talk about crap he cares about. Sorry, guys. We're going to skip the rest of what you've been playing this week. Everyone's playing
I just want to
GTA
say,
5. Great.
I helped you come up with the freaking potato masher.
And
videos.
I'd love
They've been
you.
a really good success.
They have
Did
been,
you
and I
guys have the
appreciate
idea?
that.
No, I had the idea.
You almost didn't say success there, Joel. That was close. You almost had an office incident.
No,
Like-
Joel, if I come up with an idea, you're like, it can't be done. No one could do this. It's impossible. We're like, oh, yeah, I bet we can. You're like, taking all the credit.
No, well, it wasn't just the dare. I told you guys the whole idea of actually
did.
building the
You
thing
did.
and stuff like that. So, and I've been
Joel,
supporting you all the way.
Everyone knows you're the brains behind this operation. You've got the little puppet strings making us all
I'm more of
dance.
the frustration behind that.
That's why we started 30 minutes late.
No, that was James.
Just kidding. No, that was you.
That was Twitch. All right, it was Twitch.
That was your
The first
your
20,
faulty
the
hardware.
first 20 was you. The last 10 was Twitch. It ain't me.
Potato masher's going down.
It is not going down on your mom. All right. So up next
Sounds painful.
is 90 Seconds with Joel, which will be much longer than that, but Joel will try to keep it to like 10,
Yeah, I'll
15
try to
minutes if
keep
you
it.
can.
Yep.
But Joel, what do you have going on for your loyal fans who like throwing money at you?
Well, I don't want Ben throwing money at me. He's the only person I don't want money being thrown at.
Do you want do you want Shane to throw bees at you?
Bees.
No, I'm doing this Kickstarter for a board game I made, and I kind of fell into this by accident because it ended up being something really fun. We all enjoyed as friends, hanging out together. I did it for a Christmas party, and it just kind of stuck, and it was kind of funny. And I was like, you know what? I should just update this and make a better version. And then after that, I was like, I had more and more people ask to get a copy and play it. So I was like, heck, I might as well put on Kickstarter. I was the one who asked to say put on Kickstarter. I've had a lot of people say, put it on Kickstarter. I was like, okay. So I'm going to present you guys with a link to a game I like to call The Nebula from Hell.
Would you like to roll that video?
Yeah. Let's all sync it up. So if everyone kind of gets the video ready.
Playing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Joel Gelzo, and I hate board games, so I decided to build a board game myself that hates me back just as much. I call it The Nebula from Hell. This game is for people who enjoy kicking people when they're down, when they're crying and they're actually asking for help. You just slap their hand away and keep on kicking. It's Chutes and Ladders from Hell. You know, if you don't like sarcasm, get out. We don't want you. This game is for people who just enjoy laughing till their face explodes. So this game comes with action cards. This is the bread and butter of the game. All you have to do is just flip it over on your turn. You don't roll dice. Dice is stupid. So you basically flip over a card, you read what it says. It's the most ridiculous thing you've ever read. And it'll be a challenge. It could be going 5 spaces. It could be losing everything and your money. Some type of an action card tells you to roll dice. I love dice. Dice is the coolest thing ever. You roll it and then you do what it says, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's sweet. Bonus cards give you special powers that you need to keep to yourself until the perfect moment to unleash upon your friends to ruin their experience playing the game. This game has a really crappy looking spinner. You just spin it, that's what you do, and it lands on a little thing that tells you to duel a friend by rolling dice. Again, dice is awesome. You duel a friend, then you win, you go forward, you lose, you go backwards. It also comes with a premium 30-second timer. This is so you can challenge people. There's even a fart challenge. I can't wait for you guys to try that. 30 seconds to fart? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The game is about like using a card at the correct time to destroy everyone else's experience. You'll realize you'll be playing for an hour and go, I don't even want to win anymore. I want someone else to win, but you're gonna have a lot of fun doing it. So anyways, I made this game mostly just to have fun with my friends, and it ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. So really, we just put it on Kickstarter because we'd love to be able to have other people play it and other people's lives be ruined. So I'd appreciate it if you guys donate, because you're gonna get a really awesome game that's just gonna make you laugh beyond your wildest dreams. So, and ruin your friendship. So if you don't want friends anymore, buy this game, buy 2 of them, and be a lonely hermit for the rest of your life. So I appreciate you guys watching this video, enjoy the game, and beware, because the Nebula hates you.
So apparently there was no audio on Twitch for that. I have no reason why, because OBS was just hooking the main computer audio. So who knows?
Drop the link if you check out.
Yeah, check it out on Kickstarter.
Check it out on www.thenebulafromhell.com. You can take a look at it. You can go to the Kickstarter. You can watch a video. You can see what the game looks like. But just a brief kind of overview of what the game is. It's it's basically Chutes and Ladders from Hell mixed with a little bit of Cards Against Humanity. So if you ever play those kind of games, there's also another game called Quelf. I've never played it, but a lot of people say, it kind of feels a little bit like that in some way. The game is really simple. All you do is you just pick up a card on your turn, you read it, and you just do what it says. That's literally it. So there's other little things in the game that you have to do, like little mini challenges. There's awkward things. There's like everything has kind of a gray area like question. So it's like you either go +10, but you're going to have a negative later, or you go a short amount and you get a bonus. So everything's kind of just ridiculous, and the cards don't really make sense, but it's just meant to make you laugh as much as possible. And my uncle ended up doing the drawings for a lot of the board game and the cards, which are just ridiculous. There's cards in there that make fun of gluten-free people, because we have a lot of gluten-free friends. And yeah, there's other cards that are like, everyone put yourself
we're generous.
Yeah, the way the cards are like, I put down a few cards of what they are. So here's an example of an action card. This is just a basic card you pick up and then you read it and do what it says. So one is, ask someone if you can slap them in the face. If they agree, slap them. If it's a tap, you both go back 2. If it's a smack, you both go +5. If it's a thunderclap, you both go +12. Everyone votes on the result. So everyone just kind of decides. If it's a little tap, screw it, you're going back 2. Another one is, are you a good cook? group votes with a show of hands. Go forward or backwards, the amount of hands raised from the result. I did that one for Debbie.
There was another good one I really liked. If you can fart on command, you'll go forward how far?
Like plus 15. Now that doesn't seem like a lot.
I did it. I farted like with 5 seconds to go. I was straining. I thought I was going to crap my pants sitting at the table and play this invitation. I was like, go or blow, baby. I wanted those points.
It's one of those two things that are going to happen.
I squeaked out one little burper there at the end, and everyone looked at me with very disgusted looks on their faces, but don't care. Got points.
Yeah, there's a card that's just a straight up dance challenge. You just have to pick an opponent to do a dance off. So a 30-second dance off. Everyone votes. If you win, you get to go a certain amount of spaces, maybe get some cards. And the bonus cards are I think the really fun part of the game, because you're meant to just read them to yourself. Like you hide them and keep them. They're little bonuses and perks that you can use throughout the middle of the game. And some of them, where let's say Dave is really far ahead, I can lay a trap down right in front of him that springs him into the air, and everyone rolls a dice to shoot him out of the air. It's ridiculous.
I got this, Joel. My favorite bonus card, like, this is the card you get, and like everyone's gonna know you got something good because like your eyes are gonna get real big for a second, and, like you just look around real shiftily. But it's the one that says, wait for another player to say the words either your turn or my turn, and then you like stop them and you play the card and then go back to start. Like that's when you like you're like, it's like just a total trump card, like totally unfair.
And it has.
Wait, Joel, you haven't explained the whole purpose behind the name of the game.
I named it the Nebula because I was thinking that the Nebula was like a black hole. I just was like, hey, let's put the Nebula. And James was like, were you meaning a black hole? I was like, yeah, because I was like, the Nebulas are really nice. Like, they're not horrible. I'm like,
It's like a pretty area in space you can float around.
Yeah. Like, oh no, I'm in the Nebula.
But I'm happy.
It's like, oh no, I'm in this green meadow. Getting killed by bunnies and deer.
Trapped in the meadow.
But yeah, the game has kind of a meta game to it where there'll be a card that literally there'll be a bonus card, and we're releasing the main game. It comes with 72 action cards and 32 bonus cards, and they're all kind of wacky and crazy, and they all do different things. But then to try to keep the price down as much as possible, because it's like a one-off thing right now, I'm not expecting to sell a trillion of these, but I think it'd be fun to just for a handful of people to get it out there and just enjoy it, because I think we had a lot of fun. I think a lot of you guys would enjoy it.
It's stupid amounts of fun. We played it so many times.
If you enjoy a podcast, I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And we have a little special bonus thing to announce relating to the Casual Shenanigans podcast. But like the bonus cards, there'll be one that just says, okay, everyone lays their cell phones out on the table. Largest and smallest cell phones all win. You go +5. Anyone who happens to have a flip phone, you go directly to the Nebula, and you lose 2 cards. So like it has a lot of just things that are just ridiculous. And there is ways out. So people don't want to do a dance. The card will make fun of you because you're a wuss because you didn't want to dance, and you can only go +1, or you lose this, or oh no, you broke your leg, and you have to sit for like 2 timeouts and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. So, but I think you guys might enjoy it. But for the first 5 people that get it that get the game on Kickstarter, if you buy the actual game, that listen to this podcast, I wanted to do something special for you guys, because you guys obviously donated a lot for Norman, and that was awesome. I'm not expecting the same for this, but if you enjoy games like this, go for it. But we made a special CSG custom edition DLC pack. It's 18 cards that are all related to stuff we say. So if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you'll probably get a lot of the inside jokes and just ridiculousness of it. But yeah, so if you can just send in your email with like the order number, if you ordered the Kickstarter, just say, hey, I purchased a copy, I listened to your podcast, I'm going to send you that for free because you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys getting the game, because I just want people to have fun. I'm not trying to look to get any money from this game. I just want to get it out there to other people. So if you can spread the word, I think you'll really, really enjoy it.
It's worth mentioning because Joel hasn't explicitly said it. The price he's got it listed for, like you're basically just ordering the game. Joel really isn't making a profit off of this, and he's not like raising Kickstarter money to open up a factory in China to mass produce these things. The custom game making site he's ordering them from, this is just what it costs to get a game this is just what it costs to get a game with this many pieces in it and to get it made and delivered to you. So you're really just buying the game, and the Kickstarter is just to get awareness out. So Joel, for anyone, if you're like, but Joel hasn't put Norman out yet, why would I let him have my money for early access on his board game?
Joel's the new Dean Hall.
This game, it's right. If you get it's on Kickstarter right now, you can order it. As soon as the Kickstarter is done, the game will literally go into shipment and being sent out to you. I did not. Did I say that right? I said something.
It'll go into production and will be shipped out to you. I think
There we
is
go.
what
That's
you were
what I
trying
meant.
to
You
say.
sounded something that sound completely different. Honestly.
I'll shit it out to you. Push it on over your way.
That's Joel always pushing out that creativity.
I'll squeeze one out for you guys.
Just pinch it off, put it in the mail.
No, it will. It's not gonna be a 2-year project. It's already done. We're just doing a final couple tweaks on some cards and stuff like that. But I would love to give away one free copy to you guys if you guys don't live too far away that costs like $5,000 to ship it to you. But I'm gonna, for the next week, if you can write into Casual Shenanigans at casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Write in. Go to the website. You can either go to the website or email us. Write your own action card. So take a look at the website, take a look at what the action cards look like. You kind of get an idea, but come up with one. And whoever has the funniest one, we'll read it off either the next podcast or if you guys send it in. If you don't, then I'll be kind of pissed. But send one in, and the best one, I'm gonna ship you a free copy. So, and I'm gonna include it. I'll probably include it in the actual game if it's not horribly crass. But if it's, we'll see what it is.
Medium
But
crass is fine.
You have your chance to win a free copy of this crazy game. Now, the best part of this game is it's kind of like Dark Souls, where it's fun watching the next person play it, where like they've never seen it before, so they don't know what to expect. Because the best part is people are like, oh, this game kind of looks like it's gonna be a short game, like it's only a couple spaces, and you like play for an hour, and you're like, holy crap!
Someone will get real close to the end and nothing really's happening, and you're like, well, that doesn't really make sense. And then you'll get catapulted back to the start, and they'll get upset, and they'll get close again. They'll be catapulted back. One person hasn't gotten farther than 5 spaces the entire time, and someone who gets catapulted back to the beginning twice could end up winning, because that happened to John once. So it starts out, it's a slow burn. The first 20 minutes, everyone's just getting it filled out. They're getting their bonus cards. And then by about an hour in, everyone's just screaming. They're upset.
Screw you, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game to drink and lose some friendships over.
I'm excited for you guys to play the final version, because we've really updated the cards. They work really well. And then we do have an expansion pack. So let's say you find a group of people that you like playing games with.
There's DLC already in the box.
Yeah,
We're taking it out and selling it to you.
No, well, we had so many cards, but to get the cost down, we couldn't include like 200 cards, so we had to kind of limit it. But if you do get the second, we already have an expansion pack of just 60 new action cards and 12 new bonus cards. And what those are...
So you've already got paid DLC on day one release?
I got paid DLC.
In the box.
Okay, gotcha.
It's out of the box.
You just unlock it, like there's a piece of tape on there. It's connected to your credit card number. You open it, it charges you.
No, but what's fun about these the cards is that they make fun of the other deck. So like a deck that, let's say you have a bonus card that's really good. Well, the next expansion pack will now kind of screw that card over. So every deck kind of makes things worse and more fun at the same time. We've been really debating about doing a card that actually says pay to win, and it's just gonna have my PayPal email address on there, and or the Nebula PayPal, and it's like pay $5 to win the game. But then I was like, it'd be awesome if we have it random where it's like, sorry, you can't pay to win in life, and you just get nothing. You just lost $5. But I feel like that would be stealing. But man, that would be hilarious.
Joel, check the link I sent you, please.
Where?
It's a link from the chat.
This is Shane's work, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joel and Sneaky Snake love potions for the wine. Beware of imitations. Use only this genuine. Bloodborne! Oh my gosh, that's amazing!
He goes right to the bloodborne.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Speaking of my wife, you guys want to hear a quick... I told Dave this. Remember? You heard this today. Remember this story?
just
Go,
go.
weird segue.
No, it was the dream.
It's like he's never heard himself speak before. Go ahead.
Come on, Dave. We were talking in the car about this. And you were like,
Just go, Joel. Just go.
you said to share this, and I wasn't sure because I figured Jeremiah would get pissed off or something by sharing it. Be like, no, go and share it. Okay, so it's a short little dream. It was so random, right? I was falling from the sky. Okay, I don't know why. Joy and I we were falling. Joy was there too. We were both falling sky in there. And I was like, we're gonna die.
Might kill Jay.
We're gonna die. And then we just started making out in the air, like just skydiving out.
Wait, who?
And then I woke up. Me and Joy. No,
Okay.
not me and Dave or nothing. No, it was just so random. I was like,
Were there bees involved?
were there bees?
Why would I get pissed at that?
Well, I don't know.
Your wife love each other. You all
Do you think
embrace before
do you think
die.
he's jealous?
You get annoyed at my random side stories that have nothing to do with any.
Joel got distracted there halfway through the story. Like the way he told me was so much funny. Like we're riding back from lunch. John's driving us back from lunch. He gave us all a ride. He's talking like, yeah, we had this dream. Like it was kind of horrifying. We were just falling, and I was like, oh man, like we don't have parachutes. I think we're gonna die. And George is like, hey, you want to make out? I was like, all right, that's kind of hot. We were like, wait, what? It was weird. We're just like, you're like, all right, that's kind of hot.
It was tumbling down in the air, like whoa.
And with that, guys, that is the
Okay.
podcast this week.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else
Thanks
you need
for
to add in?
listening.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Just even if you're not gonna get it, and which is totally fine. I mean, not everyone has money to buy for random frivolous games that'll probably beat your skull in. But I don't know, share it. Just spread it out there. It'd be awesome just to at least get. I think I need to sell about 25 games for the Kickstarter complete. It would just be awesome just to have that done. I don't even care. Just enough people. I just want one guy to send me a video so pissed off from the game that he had no idea what he was getting. He's just like, this game is making fun of me. Like it really, and then I'm gonna paste it on my website. Be like, hey, here's the first review. I'll be happy. So yeah, appreciate anything you guys can do. So
Joel's not sharing it here because he wants you all to buy a copy, but he knows a lot of you do like board games. So it's really, again, he's not making really any money off of this. This is just for people who might be interested. Here's a way you can get it. And it's a fun game. It definitely is fun. I don't play a ton of board games, but it's a good one.
I think
enjoy our podcast and our sarcasm. It's us in a game.
I think we need to start ending the podcast with Joelisms.
Tonight we are ending
There's
the
been
podcast.
some really good ones lately.
Tonight we're ending the podcast with a comment of the week. There have been a lot of comments on the potato masher in the last week.
This is
or
all
so.
you, Jeremiah, this week.
This one is a gem, and I absentmindedly hit back twice and got rid of it. Hold on. Here we go. This is from Hal Duodo. This first part is all caps. The main thing you need for GTA 5 is a good CPU and a lot of storage space on your GPU. Back to regular. It's funny because my $1,700 PC with a GTX 770 and 4 gigahertz processor does not look as good as the potato masher. Maybe it's because I only have 2 gigabytes of storage space on my GPU. 2 gigabytes of storage space in your GPU is not going to cut it.
I mean, he's not technically wrong. Like, memory is a type of storage. It's volatile storage, but he doesn't know what he's talking about at all.
He's not technically wrong, but he is wrong.
Yeah, he's not technically wrong. He's just not quite there.
He is most definitely wrong in some form or fashion. And with that, everybody, thank you for coming out. As always, you can follow the show at Casual Shenanigans on Twitter, at Germ Gaming, at Evil Viking. Thank you all for coming out. We're sorry this podcast is a little bit rushed this week. That's my fault. But we'll be back to our normal languid selves next week. But we do appreciate all you guys. Thank you for coming out. Write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. Remember, if you have any suggestions for stuff you'd like to see on our 100th episode coming up in just a few weeks, let us know. That should be a lot of fun. We're still deciding what we're going to do for it. And thank you, everyone, for coming out. And with that,
See you guys.
I'm going to use Debbie's sign off she thought of for last week, but she thought of it after the podcast ended. Stay fast, stay furious, stay casual.